Izenda's copy management tool in the Administration UI gives administrators of the system an intuitive method of extending work done in one environment out to others in the system. Repeating work multiple times in extensive multi-tenant environments can be a tedious and frustrating task. Izenda is equipped to alleviate this issue. Copy management is a powerful tool, so it is important to explore its usefulness and different ways to exploit the feature to increase efficiency while using Izenda. The copy management tool can be found nested in the Data Setup area of the Administration UI. This is where a system-level administrator can begin taking work done in one tenant or at the system level and replicate it out to tenants throughout the deployment. The first selection that would need to be made is to determine from what source the desired items are going to be copied from. As a system-level administrator, this list will include every tenant within the environment as well as the system tenant. A typical use case for some users is to create templates, common reports and dashboards, or set up common roles at the system level, and then, as new tenants are created, simply copying these items into the newly created tenant. With the source tenant selected, the user can then select the destination for which items are going to be copied. For this example, we will copy the desired items across all tenants. An example of this use case would be for system-level administrators looking to copy a new report or role out to each tenant in the system without having to individually modify each tenant and replicate the work effort. Once the destination is selected, the user can then begin selecting from the various Items to Copy checkboxes in order to start building what exactly is to be copied over. Selecting Data Model will open a panel in which the user can choose from various tables, views, stored procedures, and user-defined functions that are available within each reporting database contained within the source's environment. In this case, the source has access to a wide range of reporting data sources. Therefore, we can scroll through each database and see the contents of each data source. We can make specific selections as to what's going to be copied. If advanced data settings are selected, there will not be any specific breakdown of options, as this copy will be all-inclusive. For dashboards and reports, the user will be presented with a list similar to what was shown for the data model option. The difference being that, rather than options being broken up by tables, views, stored procedures, and user-defined functions, it will be broken up by report and dashboard categories. Selecting tenant permissions would only be available if you select an existing tenant, impersonate a tenant, or are logged in as a tenant-level administrator. This is where perhaps using a template tenant for copy management needs might be a more efficient way of delivering out to new tenants of the system. Just like the advanced data settings, this is an all-inclusive copy and does not require specific options or settings to be chosen. Roles and permissions can be explicitly selected. However, if the role and permissions checkbox is marked and the selections are made throughout that method, there will be no option to granularly select options. The permissions associated with the selected role will be automatically copied over to that destination. For the data model, reports, and dashboards copy, the user will need to ensure that the data contained within the reports, dashboards, and data model are being copied to a place that can properly receive them. In order to accomplish this, the database connection or schema of the source tenant must be mapped to the connection or schema of the destination tenant. This can be done by choosing the Add Mapping button and then selecting the From Database Name, Type, and Object, and then assigning those same values over to the To options of the destination tenant. There are a few rules associated with this mapping. For instance, tenants without database mapping established will be copied with or to the same database connection. Additionally, each schema without mapping will be copied to a schema with the same name. After this data mapping, it may be necessary to validate the consistency between the source data sources and the destinations. To do this, once the selections have been made, select the Validate button at the top of the screen. If there are no errors, the copy process is ready to run. For tenants that have the status Ready to Copy next to them, the user will then be able to press the Run Copy button at the top of the screen. For options that deal with the data model, there also may be an alert requesting permission to overwrite the existing data model of the destination. The copy management system is a useful tool to minimize the work effort required to set up and manage a multi-tenant environment. Properly understanding how to utilize this mechanism is essential to using Izenda more efficiently. For more information on how to optimize the Izenda experience, feel free to watch some of the other videos offered on our website, or dive into the wiki for more detail on everything Izenda.